Hey guys, we are the editors of PremierGuitar.com. We are at Summer NAMM 2019 in Nashville, and we are actually at Carter Vintage. They were nice enough to let us use this beautiful front room here.
It's all the good stuff in it.
Yeah. We're bringing you our editors' picks from day one of NAMM, and we're gonna have Jason go first.
Yes, so I spent quite a bit of time in the Fender booth. We shot videos on the new amps, had half a dozen new pedals, and the new line of guitars, but the one I wanted to talk about the most was the new Tone Master series. I get the feeling this is going to be like a series of amps, and they kind of opened this series with probably their two most well-known amps, a deluxe reverb and a twin reverb.
Some people who were alive or playing guitar in the 90s are like, wait, Tone Master, right? Because Tone Master in the 90s, remember those high-end, like 100-watt tube heads and stuff? But that's not at all what these are.
Which I think Gary Clark still plays one.
And so when you look at them, they look exactly like a Blackface Deluxe, Blackface Twin Reverb. There's a little badge in the corner that says Tone Master. And but the thing is, and it even says on the sign, "Pick me up," because if you've played a twin, I mean, like those right there.
They're saying pick me up and feel how light
I am. Pick me up, because I think the deluxe is 22 pounds.
Yeah, like 23.
And the twin is maybe 30.
Jeez. I threw my back out in the 90s with my twin.
Yeah.
And
loaded with speakers, with Jensen's.
And with speakers, everything, with Jensen's neodymium, thank you, speakers. But they're digital modeling amps.
But no menus or anything, just
no
knobs.
Menus. It's basically it functions exactly like the twin and deluxes you know. The only difference is around back, there's an XLR out with, I believe there's a switch that lets you switch between like a 57 IR or like a Royer, one's like a ribbon, and then there's a USB port there for, Shane was saying, expecting maybe if there's ever a bug that pops up, people will be able to plug it in and patch it or fix it.
Firmware
updates, that kind of thing. Maybe they might do some extra IRs, but they had that and then an off-the-line deluxe reissue, and I mean, really, really close. They did make an effort to, even though they dedicate all the DSP power to the reverb and the vibrato stuff, and it's plenty loud enough. I mean, deluxe on
85 watts on
or twin.
So the twin is 85 watts.
Most of the video we did with Shane playing through the deluxe, but we had Rick play some pedal steel through the twin.
Yeah.
And it was like oomph.
It was plenty of volume.
They even got the kickback legs on the twin, which I like. Yeah. Pine cabinet.
But like, it was just because I'd walk by the booth a couple times during the day, and you just see people over there just doing this, just picking them up, because you're kind of preparing yourself for that heft of the twin, and then you're like, But
it makes me wonder why they would put a pine cabinet on everything, because it's got to be like, I mean.
Yeah.
I think it adds to the price, right?
Adds to the price, yeah. So the price on these for the deluxe is like $899, twin is $999.
Yeah.
Right around that part, which I was like, wow, that's pretty good. But I do appreciate, it's kind of the trend now to, like, once you kind of dive into the modeling thing, it's like, well, let's put everything we can into this, And like you said, no presets, there's no digital effects, there's nothing in there except what you would expect on a deluxe with the XLR. So actually in the video, we didn't mic up the cabinet. We just went direct for the video. For that and the guitar video that we shot.
And the XLR.
And the XLR.
Yeah.
And it
pretty
sounded
cool.
really good. It'd be like a kid's like second amp. Like, their first amp you're getting, mom's probably getting the starter pack or whatever, and then once you kind of get into it, this would be the one you can take to gigs.
Or
if it sounded as good as the real thing,
like you see with all the clone clones, the guy in the back of the room is not going to be able to tell it.
Yeah, and I'm like old school and kind of embarrassed by the whole direct thing, so that's good for me because it doesn't look. It's like a stealth direct deal. Nobody had any idea that you were playing.
And the thing was, like, me doing the video, I wasn't hearing the direct. Like, the first time I'll hear the direct sound was really when we see the video. I mean, we were just hearing the speaker in the room. And then they would do a thing where, like, if you have a silent stage, you can turn the speaker on and off and still have the direct line going.
That's pretty cool.
So those would be my picks, the deluxe and the twin. I would say those are pretty
Yeah, very hip.
What you going to talk about?
Okay, well, like I was saying with amp thing, I'm kind of old school. I mean, I really like that. And Supro, I like what they're doing because they're taking old school designs or kind of an old school, I guess, aesthetic, but doing their own brand new thing with it. And they have this thing called the Claremont. I've got a picture here, but I guess you guys got a picture as well. But it's it's almost like an answer to a 335, but Bigsby-ish, has these great, they almost look like teacup, Bakelite knobs on it. It's got the gold foil pickups. It sounds great. Body is, I guess it's maple body, 3-piece maple neck. It was just a really hip. I loved it because it looks like something that you'd maybe find in a pawn shop, but it's not. It's brand new, but it looks old school, and it sounded great, played great. So.
Oh, you got to play it.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was great. It was a very cool. Now, I mean, the gold foil is what it is. You know, they're
like authentic gold foil, not just like.
No, I mean, and Super Bowl, I think that was their thing back in the day, right? So, and I think that part stayed true to their heritage, but the body was a new weird design.
Sweet.
So.
Do you know the price roughly on it? It's okay to say no.
No, I don't.
Just Google it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's not. In fact, it's not even out yet. It's coming out. This is the first time it's been seen.
Nice.
So I don't think you can buy it yet anyway. But I don't know. If I was going to guess, $1,200.
Cool.
I might be way off. I might be way off.
Dave Coltai, and you get you're going to have to stick to that.
Yeah. There you go, David. That's what your saddle board. $1,200.
My first choice is sort of a nostalgic choice. I'll admit to that right out front. Early in the day today, we went to the Gibson booth, but a lot of you probably know Gibson owns some other brands, including Kramer. And my second guitar ever, back when I was 15, I think it was 87, it must have been 14. Anyway, first one was an 83 Fender Strat, and then my second one, like a year later, I was like, Mom, I have to have a humbucker and I have to have a Floyd Rose. And I worshipped Eddie Van Halen at that point, of course, and so Kramer was the logical choice at that point. So I got the Kramer Stage Master Custom. And Kramer now brought back, it's called the SM1. I'm pretty sure I am sure they said the SM is an homage to the Stage Master. As you can see in the pick, it's got Duncan pickups, a JB in the bridge, and cool rails for the middle and neck. It's got a 5-way and then like a rhythm to lead bypass. At least that's what they used to call it when I got it. 2 cool colors. They said it was around $1,000, and it's made at the Gibson factory here in Nashville. So
wow,
that's pretty cool. That's
is
less than I paid. In the 80s.
God, do you still have yours from back in the day?
No, that's another story. I think I've written about how I ruined that with like in the 90s. I was over the flip-flop iridescent red finish, and I tried to sand it and refinish it more natural, and I ruined it. Then I traded it to a guy for an amp. Anyway.
Yeah. Cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Okay, my second one, I swung by the Greer amps booth today. He had a bunch of pedals, of course. His big new one, though, was called Guerrilla Warfare. And so he found this stash of LM308 chips, which were the original chips in the Rat. Yeah. And the reissues now don't have that chip. So Greer was telling me how much of a pain it was to kind of source them and all this. So he decided to kind of build a circuit around this huge stash of, very maybe sought after chipset. So it definitely has that kind of grit that a Rat does, but it has a little more Marshall flavor to it. Almost, to me, it kind of almost even cross over slightly into like the Blues Breaker type territory. But we were sitting there playing it and combining it with that and the Soma that I think we just reviewed, I believe, or going to review. And those two together worked really, really nice, but even by itself, If you're really kind of a fan of that kind of gritty, mid-range focused Rat kind of sound, you know, like you hear Schofield even play vintage Rats a lot. You get $199. I think they're out now.
That's got to be a limited run, right? I mean,
I think to a point, but
because he's only got so many of those chips, right?
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't allude to me. I mean, I think he has. I mean, limited, yes. Like I think my impression is that once he runs out of this batch, that's probably going to be it. But I think this batch is probably pretty sizable. Is my impression.
The name made me think it was going to be like something going for the sound of old gorilla practice.
Oh, the GG20.
That would be awesome. Nick, you should do that next.
GG20. Yeah, get on it,
Nick. John, what you got?
Okay, yeah. My next pick. Epiphone is doing a run of the Texan, which, you know, of course, that was, I think, wasn't that Paul McCartney on yesterday? Didn't he do it on a Texan? But they're doing it in this tiny travel size, and it's just it's a tiny guitar, but it's tuned to standard, and it actually sounded great, and it looks just like a Texan. Now, granted, I'm playing it at NAMM, and you can't, I mean, it's really difficult to hear anything very well, but, you know, it's like listening to anything in a really loud music store. You could kind of get it, but it felt good, and it looked just so cool, and I love Texans. So I think it's just a great homage to a classic guitar. So,
do you have any idea if it was like laminate back and sides and solid top or any of that stuff?
Man, I'm sorry, bad journalism here. I didn't. Well, and it was so crowded there. I couldn't find like a guy to tell me all the details. But I will say this: it was. I'm told it's inexpensive, whatever that means, and it's coming out soon. So it's not quite out yet, cool. But yeah, it was a very cool guitar, and I don't know, man. I mean, a travel guitar like that and inexpensive. I don't know what exactly that means, but yeah, it might be a laminate, but it sounded good.
Cool. Let's see. My next one, I'm just going to go in order from what we hit in the day. Was Blackstar. They have the new Kentucky Special. Is that what it's called?
Fry.
Hold on. It's the HT Club Mark II Kentucky Special, I think it is what it is. Sorry, I already sent my picture to be edited in at this point, so I'll look at it right now. And
look at that.
Yeah, Kentucky Special. And so it's like the same control set as the previous versions of the HT Club Mark II, but the previous ones are EL34. This one has 6L6 power section and an Eminence Screaming Eagle, I think. And they're just making really great stuff right now, and sounded, right? Yeah, and it's like 3-channel and lots. Their ISF knob like really drastically changes the voicing of it. But they said the reason they went for the 6L6s and the Eminence was kind of to avail more of an American style sound, like more Fenderish cleans and stuff. But it could still get pretty dirty and stuff. But the thing that kind of blew our minds the most, Perry, our videographer, was there with me, and when they said the price, we're like, no way, $799 for all that. It was just
wow.
That's
great.
Pretty incredible. So
it's like a golden age of gear.
Yeah. So, do you have any more?
You're out. Those two, yeah.
Oh, I got another one. Yeah. This is not really me, you know, but it is. But I thought it was so cool that like just the whole quixotic nature of it. It's this. Would you pronounce that Gyrock?
I guess.
What's that, Gyrock?
They're gyrating in there, right?
Yeah, it's a French company that's making these guitars, and it's so crazy. You have a switch right here, like a rotary, and you can for both pickups, you can rotate it to 3 different pickups, and on top of that, so you can take your
They're like on a bobbin thing that that turns around like the old cylinders you recorded audio on or whatever.
Totally. That's totally it. it is almost kind of primitive technology, but it's I mean, it's just like a lever.
Mechanical tremolo,
yeah,
sort of? Or?
Yeah, it's totally that. But you can flip through 3 different pickups for each one. And then if you want, see, like you can see in this picture, they've got like tons of pickups there. Then if you want to swap in different pickups, you can take it out. And it's not like a big deal like wiring anything. You just pop this thing off the back, which is not even screws holding it in. You pop it off and pull out a pickup and put another one in.
Now, was it a thing that you have to route out your own guitar and install that?
No, it was proprietary. It was proprietary to the guitar, which, because like you can see the big switches and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
Did you hear it?
Yeah, I played it, and it was what I liked.
And that reminds me, because it's by Wild Custom Guitars.
Wild Custom.
They make
Thank
really
you.
cool guitars that we've shown from Music Mess and stuff in the past. I think we reviewed one.
We did, yeah.
See, Sean, that's okay. That's why you're the editor-in-chief. You found I missed the name of the guitar. Yes, Wild Custom. Those are the guys that did it, and it was so. It was fun. It was fun to just flip pickups randomly. The one I was playing had some lipsticks in it, and then I think some DiMarzios, and then some Seymour Duncans, and it was just bump, 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 like that. And you could flip quick like a Strat switch, you know. And it was a big, you'd think kind of clunky rotary thing, but it was cool. Yeah, good for you. I mean, I can't imagine, like, it's just not me, but I love what they're doing. So
you need it like turbocharged or go super fast or like shoot picks out of the audience.
Right. I mean, that's the inevitable next step. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, my last one was our last appointment today with Dunlop, and they have a new series. Forgive me, I don't have the exact name. It's like the Hendrix 60s Psych series or something like that. And there's a Univibe, an Octavio, and a band of gypsies era fuzz, where they said that George Trips and someone else on their R&D team like did a ton of research to try and figure out, because they think that maybe Hendrix, when he did Band of Gypsies, had a fuzz face with what they say, something removed from removing to make it bassier or something. So they did a bunch of research on that and put it in that pedal. And what was the other? And then there's a fuzz face one, and they're all in these tiny enclosures. You can, on a couple of them, this just happened a little bit ago, it's been a whirlwind. I think on the fuzz face you can switch between silicon and germanium transistors. That's how you say it, silicon. I was giving him shit about saying silicone. Yeah. That's a different industry, John.
Yeah, I can't keep it. I get things wrong often.
I had to give you shit. I don't see it very much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there are 4 of them, $129. They sounded really, really good. Brian Kehoe from Dunlop always makes them sound really good, but we had a really fun video with him goofing off and doing faces, and check that out. Yeah. Good guy. He bought us a couple beers after. Thanks, Brian. That was very nice of you. And then in the picture, you'll also see that they have a new Gary Clark wah. And I guess it was just based off the usual CB or GB95, I forget, CBGBs. But then they tweaked it to not have quite as much bass, but also mellower on the high end, so it's sort of like a 60s R&B vibe to it. It sounded really good, and it looked really cool with that copper enclosure.
Great, yeah.
I think he said that was $179, and yeah, that was cool. So. Thanks for joining us, guys, and go check out our other videos from the show floor, all the demos, and we want to thank Carter Vintage again for letting us shoot here. We'll be here tomorrow and the next day to give you our editor's picks from day 2 and day 3 of Summer NAMM.
Yep.
Later, guys.